guys, so I'm back. Welcome back to the T brand. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to just kind of discuss with you about the new year. Where it's the 17th day of the new year, January 17th, and so far on social media I've seen people having vision board parties. I've seen videos of people discussing their vision for 2018, having some type of idea how they would like for this year to go. And that's a good thing. When you begin to set goals for yourself and for your family and for your career and for your finances, you know, life can pretty much run a smoother course than just kind of, you know, this fly by the seat of my pants type of thing. Nothing wrong with that, but life works a little bit better when you plan things out. Of course, you know, you can't plan everything. Life still happens. Things beyond our control still will take place. But for the most part, if you can plan out your budget, if you can plan out, you know, certain things throughout the day, goals that you want to achieve, then it kind of help you go throughout life and knowing which way you want your life to go. So anyway, today I wanted to present a book that I read. I first read this book. I can't remember what class that I had taken. I don't know if it was in my premarital class or what class it was. But anyway, we were given this book. Well, we had to go purchase this book. Okay, so I'm going to show you the book. It's called Strength Finders 2.0. It's written by Tom Rath. He's one of New York Times best-selling authors. So this little handy book, as y'all can see, again, it's Strength Finders. Strength Finders. Sorry if I'm blocking myself. But anyway, so in keeping with the new year, in keeping with your goals that you are setting, it's good to kind of know your talents. You know, many of us have heard of that. You have talents, you have gifts, you have skills, you have these things. But do you really know your strength? Do you really know how to use those talents? Do you really know what it means to be intellectual, or to command the room, or to be an achiever? Do you really know what that means when someone said, oh, you know, that's an intellectual person? I mean, we're all smart in various ways, but there are people who have this talent to think beyond surface, to really get inside themselves and really do these deep soul searching. So again, the question is your strengths. Do you know your strengths? Do you know how to use those strengths properly? Do you know how to execute and maneuver through life knowing your strengths? Now, I'm not saying this book is the answer to everything. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying this book is a great start in figuring out who you are, and why not at the beginning of the year, 17 days into the new year, figure out your strengths, figure out your talents. Because you got to remember, as you age, you mature, things change. You don't do the same thing you did. You're not going to be 21 doing the same thing you did at 15. Now, some of y'all, okay, well, that's a whole nother subject. But what I'm saying, at 21, you shouldn't be doing what a 15-year-old does. At 55, you shouldn't be doing what a 25-year-old does. You just mature along the way. So, of course, your strengths change, your talents change, your skills change, your gifts change, your wisdom increase, things like this. So, again, I'm not saying that this is the answer. This is going to, you know, fix all your problems. No, what I am saying, it's a great book to have. So, just real quick, I'm going to just give you just a breakdown of it, and I highly recommend you guys getting this book. So let me tell you how it works. You purchase the book, and in the back of the book you are given this access code. Okay, so there's the access code. So when you open it up, and I'm going to show you guys, you're given this little scratch off, which I have it covered, but you're given this little scratch off, and you scratch off, and so then you go online. So yes, this is something that you can access online. You will need to access online. So then you go online, and you put in your access code, you sign up. So you're going to take a survey, basically, questions. It's like 170 questions. It's about an hour-long assessment. So make sure you have the time to do the assessment. So you're going to go in and be truthful, be honest, because again, this is for you. There's no point in trying to make yourself out to be something that you're not. So be very, very honest in your answers. You know, do some true soul searching, okay? Because that way in the end, it's only going to help you out. You'll benefit from it. So, okay, so after you take the test, then of course you'll get the results. Once you get the results, you know, it'll kind of tell you where you stand as far as 4 categories. There's 4 categories that it's broken up to, and so each category is going to have where you stand, what your strengths are, what your talents are, how to work through those strengths. So basically the 4 categories, let me explain that. The 4 categories is, the first category is about your thought process, how you think things through, how do you go about thinking things through. The second category is execution. And so in that category is where, how do you execute? Once you have thought through the process of doing things, then how do you execute those things? How do you get the job done? The third category is execute strategies. I believe that's what it is. It's strategies. So now strategically, as you're going through, after you've thought about it, now I know how I'm going to execute it. Now what strategies am I going to use to do X, Y, Z, to reach this goal, whatever. And then the last category is relationships, because of course no one can walk through life and not have to interact with people. I mean, you can isolate yourself, but it's not healthy. It's not a healthy thing to do. So we all have to have a group of people that we either rely on or depend on. That vice versa, they rely on us, depend on us, need us for whatever reasons. So be it in job, school, family, wherever your relationships are going to take place. So that's the 4th category. So let me give you some brief examples in each category into what they call, well, what Tom calls themes, okay? So I wrote them down. I wrote a few of them down just so to let you guys know. So again, like I said, you'll take the test online. Of course, read the book. Of course, it has all of the themes listed. Each of those 4 categories are listed. So even after you take the assessment online, you still have the book to reference in the future if you ever want to pick it back up and kind of see if your strengths have changed, if your talents have changed, things like that. So nevertheless, so as I was saying, those 4 categories. So the first category is, again, when you're talking about your thought process, because when you set a goal, you have to think about it. You have thought about it. Something has happened, something has triggered in your life or in your psyche to say, this is a goal, this is something I want to do, this is something I want to achieve. Okay, so now you think about it. So after you take the assessment, like I said, your strategic thinking, how do you strategically go about thinking? You could be an analytical person. We know that. Those are our heavy thinkers, you know. Context, which I am a context person. So I think about the past to understand my present to help me get to the future. So basically, I go through and I look at what I've done in the past, what was good, what worked for me, what did not work. And what didn't work, there's no point in trying to work it. it didn't work. So now I'm going to take that and say, okay, that didn't work. Throw that out. Now let's see how I'm here in this position now. So how can what happened here, I'm here now, help me later? So that's kind of my thought process, is more of a context thinker. Okay? And so then the next is executing. So again, it's a list of different ways people go about executing things. So now you figured out your thought process. How do you strategically think about things? Now, how do you execute it? What do you do? Or, what type of person are you that go about executing things? So, like, for example, an achiever, that's someone who has a great deal of stamina. And so they work hard, they're just, no matter what, they're going to work hard, they're going to put in that extra whatever to achieve whatever that goal is. So, which to me sounds a little stressful, Belief, that's someone with certain core values. They use those values to execute whatever that goal is, whether it's a religious belief, whether it's a holistic belief, whatever that is. So that's some of the things when you think about executing. Where do you stand? Are you an achiever? Are you a believer? Are you someone who maybe have to have someone else there to help you develop that execution, help you develop as to how to maneuver through and get that goal achieved? So that's the second category. Okay. So the third category, like I said, is influence. Basically, is how you go about influencing things and people and influencing yourself. So are you an activator? That's someone that, make things happen. You're the person that, hey, you're going to get it done. It just happens for you. You just make it happen. Or maybe you're like me, command, where I just take control, make decisions, things like that. I may not be the person that can make it happen, but I'm the person that can make decisions on how to get it done. That makes sense? So I have, the context. I have this belief. Now I'm going to tell you my decision, take control, and let's get this done. So that's some of the things that go under influence. How do you influence others? How do you influence yourself? So for me, taking control, making decisions, that's my influence. And also in what I do and the person I am, I've always been told that I just kind of come in, I listen to ideas, other people's ideas, my own ideas, I throw things out, and then bam, I'm not sitting around saying, okay, what do you think? Okay, what do you think? Okay, what do you think? Okay, now what do you think? That's not me. What I do is, okay, what do you think? What do you think? Okay, this is what I think, this is what you think, this is what we think. Okay, bam, this is the decision. That's just me. Okay, and then the last one is relationships. Again, how do we interact? How do we relationship build? How do we nurture those relationships? So adaptability, again, someone that just goes with the flow. They can just adapt to anything. Well, that's not me. I don't just adapt. I can, but it just doesn't come that easy with me. I don't just go with the flow. But another example is a developer, someone who recognizes and cultivate the potentials of others. So, and that's kind of where I fall in. Is I just kind of can, like I said, I can work with just about anyone, and hey, together collectively we can get things done. And then I can also do that for myself. I don't always have to have someone. So that's why when it comes to adaptability, the whole go with the flow thing didn't really work for me, because sometimes that flow is off. but for somebody else, that may work for them. So these are just some examples. These are not all the answers. These were just some examples of what each category looks like and what it sounds like. So again, nevertheless, I'm going to wrap this up. I just want to encourage everyone in the new year. Like I said, we're only 17 days in. Some people already have experienced some hardships, and some people are, hey, they are just flourishing. They're enjoying 2018. So I do hope, pray that everyone gets to have a successful year. You may not get everything you want out of the year, but if you can set some goals, if you can find your strengths and work your strengths more than your weaknesses, recognize your weaknesses. Don't be ashamed of those weaknesses. But at the same time, build those strengths, work with the strengths you have, and build from there and make those goals happen. So be sure to get this book. Again, it's by Tom Rath, Strength Finders 2.0. A great book. Again, I've had this book for a while. It's something that I am going back and referencing for the year of 2018. So happy new year, happy 2018 to everyone, and I really do hope that you guys get motivated, get rejuvenated, get inspired to set those goals, whether it's a vision board, whether it's a book, or whatever, that you set those goals for yourself this year and you get out there and you make it happen. Okay? All right. So until next time, be sure to hit that like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell so you can see more videos of the T brand, and we'll holler at you next time.